Well, hello, Philip.
Oh, hello, Ronnie. Mayor Currin, how are you tonight?
I am doing well. How you doing?
Every day's a holiday.
There you
Every
go. There you go. There you go. We're doing a little bit better than some of these hard hit places with the hurricanes. I tell you,
I
Rolesville's
got
been lucky this year.
Boone. He was the only apartment complex that had power and water, even though it was boiling. But I was quite happy for him to get home. He's with the IT team at App State and also as a master's student. And the IT, the infrastructure's been flooded. He doesn't know if they're going to keep the semester open after they said stay tuned until the 15th, and he still doesn't know if they're going to cancel the semester or not. But this is his graduating semester, so he's lucky that he's alive. He's lucky that he didn't suffer nearly what everybody else suffered, but it's messing with a lot of lives beyond what you see on the news. But I'm glad to have him home.
Yeah, my daughter and son-in-law, they live in Boone, just up from the campus, up the hill a little ways from the campus. They can almost oversee the campus and the football field there. And I know they had quite a few students kind of staying with them. You know, they got a couple extra bedrooms and a basement. So a lot of students didn't have a place to stay. So they've been packing it in, helping them out.
Yeah. He was supposed to be kidnapped by a friend of his. And by the way, his car got hit in the parking lot, got totaled a week before the storm hit. And then during the storm, his was the only car in the entire apartment parking lot that didn't have a tree laying on top of it. So go figure. So he didn't have a ride out. His friend was going to go pick him up, but they wouldn't let the friend in until Friday. So yeah.
So
a lot of challenges.
I know it's probably looking at the calendar, probably about 2.5 to 3 weeks of hurricane season still to go. And we've been lucky here in Rolls. We've had a lot of rain. I tell you, Philip, it's been a lot of rain, affecting some of our projects we got going on, Main Street projects and things like that.
Flood watch alerts here in Youngsville, Wake Forest, where I live, up north of Rolesville. So I guess everything that landed on the ground north and west of us is coming downhill, heading for the ocean.
That's right. So what's been happening in Rolesville the last few weeks?
Barbecue and bands. We brought it back.
Very successful.
25. What do you think? You were there. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. That was very successful. Had about a dozen, maybe 10 to a dozen barbecue vendors, and they all did a really good job. It was a little bit hot that day. Barbecue, when I was raised up, you do it kind of in the cold weather. And it was a little bit hot, but you take that time of year, you don't know if it's going to be hot or cold.
Well, Mayor Currin, you got to put on your cargo shorts and your t-shirt. You were dressed as you were dressed now. You always overdress for these set events.
Yeah, that's right. But great event. Y'all did a really good job. I think Melissa and everybody else that worked on it did a really good job of bringing it back. So it was well attended too, I think.
We had 2,500 people. We had about 12 cooks, about 15 vendors, 4 food trucks. And I got a couple of complaints from people where they couldn't figure out where to buy beer or how to negotiate the buying ticket and then to go buy beer. So that was one consumer complaint. The cooks that were down by the live band were a little bit deaf by the end of the day. Yeah. They were asking if we turned the band down. But that was literally the only complaint we had. We dodged the hurricane the day before. We dodged rain on Sunday the day after. So,
perfect.
The 80% of the area we were going to use was a swamp. So it turned out that worked out okay anyway. So and the chamber with the benefit of having the town promoted as well, we at least broke even on it. While showing everybody a really good time. We're happy.
That's great. Yeah, and just last week, I think it was, the police department did our police night out, national night out event, and it rained, but there's a lot of people turned out in the rain. I couldn't believe it. I mean, most time people don't come out when it's rain. Usually, if it's a rain, you kind of forget having much wind. But it was packed, and it drizzled the whole time. I guess people getting used to the rain. We're becoming all ducks, I guess, right?
We have had a lot of rain this spring, this summer. It's definitely have not worried about the sprinkler systems much this year.
Tell me about it. It's been a real wet one. I think I read somewhere, heard somewhere that it may be the wettest last few weeks. You know, in my memory anyway. So you got some things coming up?
We do. Hey, golf. It's the season for golf. I think there's 5 different golf tournaments in between this month, last month, and the month and in November. Ours is October 24th. It's the Rolesville Chamber Golf Tournament. We're going to start off with a shotgun start at 8:30 in the morning. Looking for teams, looking for more sponsors, of course. If you'd like to play, give us a shout or look at our Facebook our Facebook post to the effect showing where to go register for it. You just go to RosevilleChamber.com, go to events, go to the October 24th golf tournament, and sign up to play. We'd love to have individuals, teams, and sponsors / teams. All is available. We've got some good headliners in terms of our sponsors. Anytime Fitness, which is coming into Cobblestone, is our premier sponsor. Storage Max, always tried and true. They're going to be running the putting green as they have in years past. So putt for proof. Walk up, hit a putt, see if you nail a bottle of liqueur, and it's yours to take home. But it'll be a lot of fun. We're bringing in an LPGA professional to be there as well. So pictures, maybe even do a driving range shootout. We're going to have an LPGA professional there. We're going to give away a car. There'll be a hole-in-one car, I think. What else are we doing? We're going to have several games. We've got a pro golfing game company coming in to set up games on several of the holes. So it's not going to just be, again, I'm that guy on the end of a ski rope on a ski boat. I'm not usually playing golf on the weekends. So being ADHD, golf's a little slow for me, Mayor Currin. But a lot of people love playing. We're going to juice it up with some games on the holes, not just sponsors on the holes selling their wares or giving away the tchotchkes. We're actually going to have some participation games on the various holes. So it'll be more like a fun park than just a golf course that day.
That's great.
Coming up after that, if you'd like to get a little bit social, meet some other business owners in the area on the 24th, that same night as the golf tournament, finish the golf tournament, go run down to Trace McGatchis, or as I call it, Trace Dudes, down in Rolesville. We're going to have our business after hours from 5 to 7. Love to see you out there. If you're a member, come out. If you're not a member, come out and learn what it is to be a member. We'd love to have you. It's a great way to socialize your business, meet other businesses, get engaged in the community, and have a little fun. So that's coming up. Let's see what else we got coming up here. So in November 5th, we started the morning grinds. That's our morning coffees. So if the 5 to 7 happy hour isn't your cup of tea, but you still want to get out and network a bit, we've got a 8 to 9 a.m. once a month activity called the morning grind. And that'll be November 5th. It's going to be, where are we doing this? We're going to do this at the chamber office. And then we get into the slides that we'll be talking about in a minute, but that's what I got for the month coming up.
Yeah.
Would you talk? I did not, this to my chagrin, I have not put in Fall Fest information in the slide presentation. Let's talk about Fall Fest for a second.
Yeah, let's mention that. Fall Fest is, I think I got it down for October the 28th, the last Saturday of this month. It's a big event. So I hope the weather is good.
October 26th.
Sometimes it is 26th. Is that a Saturday?
Saturday the 26th, I think. Yep.
Okay. 26th.
When is Fall Fest, Mayor Currin?
It's gonna be a lot of vendors there. I don't forget how many number it is, but it's a couple of hundred of them, I think. And we'll have it. I think we'll have it on Rayford Place down there where the park is. It's usually a well attended event. A lot of people turn out. It's the weekend before Halloween, so it's a really good event. So kind of invite everybody out for that. But I want to just make a big shout out this weekend for a sort of event that just came up in the last few days down in our main part of town, down the old section of town, the original part of town. They are doing I guess what they call a Main Street reopening party down there. So
yeah.
So the three businesses down there, which is
Main Street,
the Creative Exchange, and Suzanne's Antiques, they inviting everybody to come down at 11, from 11 to 5 for Main Street opening, and they got refreshments and food, all kinds of stuff. So go down there.
This Saturday. This coming Saturday.
At 11 o'clock. Exactly right. So so hopefully people will be tracking on down there using a new temporary, and this is a temporary street, Philip. I don't think a lot of people may not realize that, but we're trying to get the message out that this is not the permanent street. It's a temporary street where we're putting in to get the Main Street flow back started while Raleigh gets their lines in and get some drainage problems done. So, but we're going to get Main Street back open best we can, and that's kind of what that temporary street is. It's not the finished product.
They're doing into some challenges, which has put this date out a little bit. I understand they found a fuel tank or a gas tank that wasn't on the maps. What else has delayed them on this?
The weather is a big thing. Fuel tank. Fuel tank won't a big delay. The big delays have been finding sewer lines that you got to relocate, and then the water line is a old asbestos line, about 50 to 70 years old, and it just crumbles in your hand. If you touch it, it just crumbles. And that's why they kind of put that temporary road in, because that line's got to be replaced before you can put the permanent one in.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of the problem with that. But it's several things. But we're getting it. We're going to get Main Street back open up for the traffic, at least for time being. But a lot going on. We got a couple really good guests on tonight, Philip.
You want me to bring up the first one, Miss Tony Kenyon?
I think Tony is going to be our first one. A lot of people know Tony. She's been around for a long time. Hey, Tony, how you doing? She serves presently. I'll do a little intro, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Let you guys.
We'll see you, Philip. Tony serves as our District 1, which consists of Rolesville, Zebulon, Wendell, and I think some of Knightdale, if not all of Knightdale, on our Wake County Library Commission. So she's a commissioner appointed by the Wake County Board of Commissioners to serve on there. Been serving for a couple of years now, but she's also a business owner here in town, a chamber chamber representative or delegate, I guess you call on that, and does all kinds of things. So kind of introduce yourself, how long you lived here, Tony, and for people that's just meeting you the first time.
So yes, I am Tony Kenyon. To start off with, I am the owner of Consinity Health, direct primary care here in Rolesville. We're located off of Main Street in the Southtown Circle Plaza. I always try to give people landmarks to try to find our business. Most people know what Paisanos is. So Paisanos is my neighbor. If I'm facing Main Street, they're my neighbor to my left. And then Arise and Off the Hook and the town of Rolesville are my neighbors to my right. So I'm sandwiched in between Paisanos and that other building. So we're right there at Consinity. I'm also, like you said, I am the District 1 Library Commissioner. I have been serving in this role now for 2 years. So I'm in my third term. It didn't seem like I'm going to my third term already, but yes, I'm here. It's been a great ride so far. And then I also, yes, I am currently one of the board members for the Rolesville Chamber of Commerce. Those are some of the big things. I do a couple other things. I also have an IV hydration business located in our Consinity Health building. And I'm also the founder of the HEAL Foundation, which is a nonprofit that stands for Health Education, Advocacy, and Literacy. And that's a foundation that tries to help bring just what it says, education to our communities about health topics, diabetes, high blood pressure, breast cancer, whatever, as well as helping people learn how to advocate for themselves when it comes to health issues. So yeah, I wear many hats. I'm a mom as well.
Yeah.
So I have two wonderful children. My daughter is 28 years old. She is a school social worker in Guilford County. And then my son is a police officer with the Rolesville area police department. So he's right down the street from me. He serves our town well. I'm super proud of him. I know you guys were talking about the hurricane stuff, and he was one of the officers here in Rolesville that left and went to help assist in Hendersonville to give some of their police officers some relief. So yes, proud mom of both of my children. They are both, they both serve their communities. So I couldn't be more happier and proud as a mom. And then of course, my husband of 26 years is here as well. So yeah, I can go on and on, but I go, yes.
You're a busy person. You got a lot going on, and yeah, I was very proud of actually the fire department, the police department, and our public works people being involved in getting supplies up to the western part of our state that was really damaged by hurricanes.
Yeah,
and,
they did a great job.
So I think the police department actually went up there and relieved some of the people that have been on duty for a long time, and kind of give them some breaks and stuff, which was really, really nice to share that. But I kind of hear through the grapevine something about a bond. What is all that about, Tony?
So that's not a grapevine. That is coming, and we are trying our best to make sure that everyone is aware of what this library bond is about. Make sure everyone that when you go to vote in November, that you vote yes for this library bond. So I guess we know that we all know what libraries are, and we know, when you think about libraries, you think about books on the shelf for the most part, or I can go to the library and check out a book, or I can go to the library, as you see in the picture, I can get on a computer, whatever. But our libraries offer so many more things, and I'll talk about those in just a second. But one of the things we have to think about when we're thinking about having access to libraries, you want to make sure that they're in spaces where everyone in our county can have access to all of the great resources that our libraries offer. And so that's what this bond is pretty much for. It is to, one, close in the gap for the Rolesville area. We're the only municipality without a library. And out of there, I think we have like 23 current libraries. And in our small little corner up here, we're the only one without a library. So when we're looking at the needs, we try to we want to make sure that the drive time to any library is less than 10 minutes. And so right now in our area, we have to drive either to Wake Forest, to the Window Library, to another library, maybe in Raleigh, or into Nightdale, in order for us to have access to libraries. And that's usually a greater than 10-minute drive for most of our residents. So that's one of the reasons why we're kind of pushing for, of course, for a library here. But some of the other things, if you didn't know, that our libraries offer, we just recently started, Wake County Libraries recently started offering free online tutoring. So that's a big deal. Starting September 16th, they started offering free online tutoring. They do college readiness help, help you with college applications, helping you with test prep. We even have this really phenomenal thing called Lawyers in Your Library. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but Lawyers in Your Library is a service that you can look at all these things I'm here to talk about on the website. But Lawyers in Your Library is a service that it will offer free legal services for family law. So they deal anything from divorce law, custody law, child support, and they have specific days for these. And so you just sign up, you go to the library, and they will provide free legal service for you. So just things like that. We have cultural celebrations. Right now, this is Hispanic Heritage Month, so there are many different activities happening with that. Like, for example, they're doing cooking classes and arts and crafts and different cultural dancing and drumming. They do senior activities. We have memory care kits. I can go on and on. There's so many different things that the libraries offer outside of just books on a shelf. So with that being said, that means that we can bring so many great resources to our communities just through our libraries. So when you asked me about the bond, then the bond itself is pretty much, we call it, to discuss what a bond is pretty much a loan, if you want to look at it that way. And this loan is backed by, of course, taxpayer dollars. And so when we're talking about a loan, a lot of people have the question on, okay, where if my tax is going to go up, my tax is going to go up if we do a loan. I mean, if we do a bond. But for this particular bond, it is estimated that for each $100,000 of property tax value, you will be taxed $2.50 a year. That's not a whole lot.
That's not very much, is it?
No, I mean, to make sure we have libraries and have access to all the resources that I just named, $2.50 is not a whole lot. So even if you're looking at maybe like $460,000, you still allow about $11 a year. I know I'm okay with paying $11 a year. You know, my house is not at $460,000. I'm okay with paying $11 a year if I know that the community can have these resources available to them, especially when those people are in need of certain things. Even for me, like, who knows if I'll need some legal help and I need to go to the library for, to see a free lawyer. So these things are offered. And I think with us looking at the bond, to be able to make sure that our areas, not just Rolesville, but all of Wake counties, either have their new libraries, have libraries that are refurnished, refurbished, or expanded. This bond is going to be a great help to making sure that we can accomplish all those things.
Yeah, and so we got. When is the vote on the 5th? What's that, about 3 weeks?
Is it 5th or 6th? Don't make me lie.
How many days we talking about? Maybe less than a month. So probably 25 days or 24 days left. But we got to get the message out. We got to let everybody know that there is a question on the ballot. And where is it going to be at? In the very back or something? I haven't seen a ballot. So is it on the back?
I haven't seen a ballot, but historically, any of the bonds are usually like at the very end of the ballot. So of course, yes, we want everybody to flip your ballot over. Make sure, because there's a lot on this particular November ballot. We know that everybody's, the presidential election is one of the biggest things, but we have some local elections happening as well. So that the ballot is going to be pretty lengthy. So we want to make sure that we are flipping our ballots over, not getting voter fatigue, making our way all the way down to the end, and go ahead and check yes on the ballot. If you want to start there, I'm okay with that. If you want to just go ahead when you get your ballot, turn it over, check yes, and then go back and do your business, I'm happy with that. So we just need everybody to vote yes, because if we don't get this library bond passed, then we can't move forward with the projects that we have planned. And we need the bond to pass in order to be able to afford the resources that we want to bring into our communities.
Yeah, we hope to get everybody hopefully should get out and vote. But on voting day, like you said, it's presidential, it's going to be packed. So the line's going to be packed, and just encourage everybody not only go out and vote for the political candidates, but it's very important for us to cast a vote for that Wake County Library. And also, I don't think we have the details, but also early voting starts next week, I think. So it's always good if you don't like lines and stuff.
Right.
The lines at the early voting is always shorter. You can plan for it a little bit better, and maybe catch the weather a little bit better by November. So just encourage everybody to vote one way or the other. Early voting or mail-in voting or actual voting day, but just get out there and vote. And it's pretty important for us to get this library, don't you think, Tony?
Absolutely. Just like what I said, I mean, the only municipality that doesn't have a library. So it's definitely important that we can make sure that the citizens of Rolesville have access to all of these resources. I mean, I can't say that enough. we know it's so many different things that I didn't even name about libraries. We know that a lot of students go to libraries to, some seek refuge after school. Like they're not able to go home, they go to libraries. You know, that they provide a study space, a safe space for them. And then the good thing about it, there's so many good things about our libraries. Our librarians are so skilled and knowledgeable about so many different aspects of things that I think we don't really realize. Even from like being able to help you with research.
Right.
They are so skilled, and even all the things that I mentioned, the librarians are responsible for running these programs and putting these things on. So they have the knowledge base, and so our citizens in Rolesville, of course, deserve to have these things available to them as well.
And certainly, we've been working on it a long time. You've been working on it ever since you've been on the board, and I've been working on it ever since I've been mayor, and also Frank worked on it before then. And this is a site plan. As you can see, it's on West Young Street, not far from downtown, within walking distance downtown. It's 5 buildings planned for that. The 4 yellow buildings is town buildings. It's a fire station, a police station, a town hall there in the center. Kind of in the center is the town hall, and then a community building, and then that little bluish greenish building up towards the top left. That's the Wake County Public Library building, and it'll be sort of tucked away in the back. They wanted some privacy back there. They didn't want to be on the street, so they kind of tucked away back there. And I think it's about a $13 million building they're planning to put back there. So it's a very nice facility.
Almost, yeah.
And I don't know if you got the video that we can see with the Main Street. So this is a little video that was put together. Now these buildings have not been designed, Tony. They are they're just white box buildings, and they are to be designed within the next 12 months, I think. So we don't know what they look like, but you can see what the site looks like, and I think that's the town hall building there. I think you can see what the site looks like. It's going to be a beautiful location, and that may be the library site right there. I think back tucked away back there. So it's something that's coming, and I know everybody's really excited about it, and hope everybody gets out and vote for sure. So Tony, I know Wake County is also planning a Peace and Justice Center there, or a room. I think Vicki Adamson, which is on the Wake County Board of Commissioners, kind of talks about this some, and that's not going to be spent in by the bond money. I think she told me they have $2 million of additional money for other stuff they're going to designate for this special room. So it's going to be a special library in a way too, right?
Absolutely. I'm as equally as excited about the library as I am about that piece that's coming. With the whole George Taylor, it kind of brought to light, a little bit more history of the Rolesville area. And I think to use this space to even bring in more of the Rolesville history, along with the Peace and Justice artifact, the George Taylor artifact. So yeah, I think it's going to serve, another facet to add to the library that will serve our community is,
Yes.
the way I see it. I think it's going to be phenomenal, very powerful, just a way for us to truly, embrace some of the things that have happened in our history, be able to learn what has happened in our history so that one, we don't repeat it, but to also, see how far we've come and how far we still have to go. So I'm looking forward to that portion of it as well.
Yeah. So before we end, I want to say, Tony, I know we got the Fall Fest coming up. Philip and I talked about that, and we argued over the date. It was either the 26th. I was thinking it was
26th.
It's the 26th. It's the last Saturday in October. I always know that the date changes, but the day never changes. It's always the last Saturday. And we're going to have some people out there for that. If people want to learn more about it, they want to ask more questions. What should they expect at Fall Fest? We're going to have some information for them if they want to out there.
I am not 100% sure exactly who is going to be at Fall Fun Fest. I know there has been some discussion to make sure that there's some library staff out at Fall Fun Fest to be able to answer any questions that you may have about the bond. And whatever question it is. One of the things that we didn't show that I like, if you can put that video up of the Wake County that shows where the libraries are, because we're champion, of course, for Rolesville because we're both Rolesville residents and we spend a lot of our time here in Rolesville. But to look at what actually the bond doesn't just cover Rolesville's library. There are other things too that's in the bond. There's another brand new library, Friendship Apex Library, that's going to go to southeast corridor of Wake County.
Down near Apex.
Yeah, there's several different libraries that's going to get renovated. The library administration building needs to be renovated. It's very old. We meet there once a month. So it's time for that. So the bond is just not to build Rolesville Library. The bond is for all of Wake County. So many different great things that's going to happen for that. But yes, so during the Fall Fun Fest, there will be some people from the library system that will be able to answer any questions or either give out more information about the bond as well as what our libraries offer.
Yeah, I don't see that slide, so I don't think Philip had to put it up there. There it is. So you can't really see it real well, but we're tucked up there in that little right top corner there. Right. So it's two new libraries on there, as you described. That one up there, and then the one down there called Friendship on the other end of the county. But as you can see, where that Rolesville one is, it's not one close by. It's a big hole there. It's a big space that doesn't have any type of library at all. So it's a big need there. I think this slide really demonstrates that it's a spot that doesn't have one, and it really needs one. So.
Yeah, there is some, I'm not sure if it's on the library site, but when we were doing the studies and they were, kind of put the bond package together to present it to the county, they did the map that showed the 10-minute drive time. And it was based off of, they showed the colors, the blues and the whites. And you can see that we were far out of that 10-minute drive time. And a large part of most of Rolesville was outside of that. So yeah, that's how we got in there. Yes.
Sure. Well, thanks, Tony. Appreciate that. And you can stick around if you want to. We'll be I'm gonna talk to Felicia a few minutes and then we'll close up. But appreciate that and thank you for taking you got a lot of passion. We talked about this. I kind of reached out to you a couple of years ago, if you was interested in doing this, and you was very excited, and you still haven't lost that passion yet. So keep doing the good work. You do a really good representation of us on that commission for sure. Couldn't have a better person, so appreciate you doing that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Well, how are you doing, Felicia? I hope you're doing well.
Wonderful. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing good. I'm doing really good. Good to see you. I know you've been busy the last week. You had your fundraiser. I was able to attend that Saturday. I think this is the second year and maybe it's only the second year you actually did that kind of fundraiser. I think we can talk about that in a little bit. But I know you're familiar with Rolesville. You come to some of the chamber events and things like that, and some of the events we have in town. Kind of describe yourself, if you would. Give us a little bio of Felicia and maybe your connections with Rolesville and some things you got going on.
Absolutely. So my name is Felicia Hatcher, and yes, I am a resident of Rolesville. So gosh, I've been in Rolesville now for maybe 6 years. So it's been a while. I was in Wake Forest. I'm originally from Goldsboro, North Carolina. And so I relocated to the Atlanta area after college. I lived in Atlanta for about 10 to 12 years and moved back here. So I moved to the Wake Forest area and then found myself back in Rolesville. So I have been here, like I said, for about 7 years. I am a member of the Rolesville Chamber. As you guys can see on the slide, I'm a business owner. So I'm the co-owner of E3 Realty Group with my partner, Dave Neal. So we service the Raleigh and surrounding areas. We're a little bit of everywhere, and our team is growing. So we definitely cover pretty much all of the Carolinas with our team, and we've expanded some even into other states. So we have a pretty large team, so we can help you locally, and we can help you also relocating state to state. But I'm a mom of two beautiful girls. My oldest is 16 years old. She's a junior at Rolesville High School. And then my youngest is in the fourth grade. And so she's over at Sanford Creek. But yeah, so I stay extremely busy. They keep me going.
Yeah, you stay extremely busy. You know, you got a lot going on. I know. I think talking to Dave and stuff. You know, you got work all over a long ways. I think he even said in
Yes.
some in Chatham County and all kinds of things. So you guys stay really, really busy for sure. But
Yeah.
I do know this time of year you have a special passion, which
Yes.
we're kind of celebrating or remembering the
Mhm.
the breast cancer month,
Yeah.
and I know you that's really special to you because you know
Mhm.
it really it's really emotionally connected to you through your
Sure.
sister and stuff. So so
Absolutely.
if you would kind of describe the importance of
Mhm.
breast cancer history and or
Sure.
month and kind of what are your thoughts around that and kind of your passion for that?
Absolutely. So, of course, breast cancer came to me. We don't get to choose what journey and path we get in this life, but my sister was actually diagnosed with breast cancer in 2012. And so my sister was only 3 years older than me. And so you can imagine we were extremely, extremely close. And so she received a breast cancer diagnosis in 2000. I take that back. After 2011 is when she was first diagnosed with cancer. And so she went through her treatments for a year. We thought we beat it. Things went well. I relocated my family back from Atlanta back to here because I wanted to be closer. She was actually a resident of Roseville. And so I moved to the Wake Forest area to be closer to her. And so I want to say her cancer came a couple months after I moved back. Her cancer came back, and so when her cancer came back in several different areas. And so in 2013, she passed away in 2013. And so cancer is just one of those things where you hear about it, you know about it, people have been affected by it, but once it actually hits you and your family, it's a totally different ball game. And so out of just seeing her fight, she was very strong. She's a very prideful person. And just out of that struggle, I just knew that I didn't want to see anyone else have to go through this. And my sister, she was a biology major. So she was really, really big on research. She researched everything. And I remember her saying to me once is that my mother on my grandmother on my father's side, she had breast cancer, and another aunt had breast cancer. There were several people in my family who had breast cancer, and we never knew about it. And she was very upset, because rightfully so, because if you know your family history, if you know you have a history of breast cancer in your family, you can do things to advocate for yourself earlier. You can
Hmm.
have that, you can have mammograms earlier than age 40 or 45. You can start to do those things. And so she felt like, she was robbed of that opportunity to be an advocate for her health, because our family didn't choose to share something like that with us. So I'm going through that, I learned I need to do all I can to make sure that I am spreading the message, talking to women, advocating. I'm huge on genetic testing. Know if you carry the breast cancer gene. There's so many different things that we can do to hopefully prevent getting breast cancer at all. But if it's something that you do get, if you catch it early, the survival rate is a lot better than what it is if you just don't know. And sometimes when you find out, something else leads you to find out that you have it. And then sometimes it's already progressed to a stage that's maybe a little bit more uncontrollable. But out of my pain, my passion to honor her memory is what drives me to do what we do every year.
Yeah, I think with the breast cancer awareness months and things like
Mhm.
that, I think overall, generally, maybe it is getting better than what your sister experienced 10 years ago, because
Mhm.
it was more hidden. It was more people
Yeah.
was ashamed, or they didn't want to talk about it, or didn't want to share.
Mhm.
And I think with the awareness and all, prevention things, and what you do and what people like you organizations do with Pretty
Mhm.
in Pink, people have got passion to change that, to change that
Yes.
what your sister experienced, to change that from what your
Mhm.
family experienced. Is that why you got involved with Pretty in Pink? I know you've raised money with them for the last few years.
Absolutely. So Pretty in Pink was introduced to me. So shortly after my sister passed away, one of her friends did a fundraiser. So her friend actually sold, it's a product called Pamper Chef. So your wife may know, you may know, and
Yeah.
it's all these cooking cookware and things of that
Right.
nature. And so she did a Pamper Chef party. And so she donated all the proceeds from the Pamper Chef party to Pretty in Pink. And so a representative from that foundation, she got up and she spoke about Pretty in Pink and what they do. And so what really drew my heart to them is that literally they help breast cancer patients. I'm right here in North Carolina who are either uninsured or underinsured, pay for chemo, pay for radiation. And what I love about it is that through their patient services department, they're getting on the phone with the doctor's offices and they're negotiating the copays and they're getting these surgeries, they're getting the mastectomies and your lumpectomies, they're getting them at a discounted rate. And so one of the things that we do know is that with cancer, stress can be a huge catalyst for cancer. So one of the worst things you can do when you're battling cancer is have to worry about the stress of how am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to pay to have chemo, pay to have radiation, take care of my children? And thankfully, my sister was very blessed. She didn't have any financial hurdles. And so that wasn't her story in terms of that. And so we were very fortunate, but I do realize that not all women are in that position where they, have all the necessary resources to get the type of help that they need. So it really kind of pulled on my heartstrings. And even when I first heard about Pretty in Pink, I wasn't ready at that point to start talking about this every day because I was still mourning, I was still grieving. And so it took me about 7 years to really, maybe 6 or 7 years to really plant my feet and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And so last year, when you were at our event last year, we have a grant now set up in Rochelle's name. So every time we raise money, when those checks are written out, they're all written out in her name to honor her. One of the ladies on the screen right now, her name is Selena. So she is one of our champions. She's benefited from Pretty in Pink. She was a hairstylist prior to her battling this disease. And so now she is so amazing. So she has she's built like a she shed in her backyard and she's unable to do hair, but now she sells jewelry. She makes jewelry. She does all these amazing things and these products that she sells now. And that's how she creates income to take care of her family. So I love at our event to have these champion boards up because it's so important for people to put a face with these donations. Know that these are real people. This could be your mom, your sister, your aunt that is benefiting from us raising money. So this is the event that we had on Saturday. And so this year, October 13th, actually in 3 days, would have been Rochelle's birthday and she would have turned 50 years old. So we released 50 balloons just in her honor. So every year, this is a way for us to honor her. And then we always take that moment if there's someone else who's there who's lost a loved one to cancer, to any form of cancer, and they want to take that opportunity to, remember them and honor them as well. We always do that at the end of the festival. So it's always a nice way to end it.
Yeah, it was. I was actually fortunate enough to be there. It was a great thing. But one of the things I guess since I've been attending your events
Mhm.
is it's kind of multifaceted. It's not only just prevention, which is a big thing, but
Mhm.
it's education. It's part of it's
Absolutely.
education. Part of it is awareness, and then assistance. There's a
Mhm.
big part in assisting other people, being a being an advocate, being a supporter. It's all these
Yes.
things. It's more than one
Yeah.
thing. It's really networked together, kind of. weave
For
together.
sure. And that was one of the things. So when we initially started doing this, we started doing cancer walks. So we started like we did virtual. I think COVID was maybe the first year was during COVID, and so we did it virtually. And I wanted to do something to honor her. And I was like, okay, well, everyone is home, so let's do it virtual. People weren't really open to coming together, and
Mhm.
so we did a virtual walk the first year, and then the other walks we had a couple walks at E. Carroll Joanna Park in Wake Forest. But the walks are great, but of course we were always battling the weather. Weather is never on my side. It would rain every single time. But we wanted to kind of change the focus, and more so than having the walks, which the walks are great, but I really felt like I want people to walk away from with resources. I felt like if we're going to have something, I want someone to be able to come to our event. And if you're having coffee with someone and someone tells you, I just had a diagnosis or I have surgery coming up, the resources, people you can reach out to. There's so many different things when a woman is having major surgery. If they're having a mastectomy and now they need prosthesis and all these different things, there's resources and there's places where you can go and you can prepare before your surgery. So now once your surgery is over, you're not out looking for these things. You have everything that you need and just the prep. And so when Dave and I partnered, my business partner, a couple of years ago, when he came on board, we decided to kind of change what it looked like. And so we turned it into more of a festival type because we use the word festival because we want it to be a celebration. So that's why we'll bring in, like last year we had the face painters and we do the candy apples and the treats because we still want people to come and have a good time, but we want them to walk away knowing, okay, I have dense breast tissue. So because I have dense breast tissue, this is the type of screening that I need. Or someone walking away and saying, hey, I know someone who's battling right now and they need assistance with their medical bills. I know we can refer them out to Pretty in Pink. There's another organization called Sisters Network that I attended a walk with yesterday at my alma mater in North Carolina Central University. I'm an alumni there, and we did a breast cancer walk yesterday, and it's with another organization called Sisters Network. And so it's just so many great support groups and different resources for people to go to get that support, and even for caregivers to get that support. If you're looking for someone to come in to help with meals, there's just so many resources. So what I love about our events is that you truly walk away with resources of people you can reach out to. And one of the most phenomenal things about our vendors is a lot of the vendors at these events, they're breast cancer survivors. There's a lady, her name is Kiana, and she has a candle company called Cornelia Home. Her candle business started out of her breast cancer journey. And earlier this year, she was at the Essence Music Festival. She had a booth there. So many of the vendors who are a part of this, they're survivors as well. So you're seeing people who beat this disease, they won their battle, and now they are giving back and they're blessing other people. So there's no way you can walk away without your heart just being full and wanting to help as many people as possible.
Yeah, I think you do a really good job of that because really, on one hand, you want to celebrate your sister's life and remember her and have a festivity around that, a party per se. And then on the other hand, it's very serious. You want to get the message out. You want to get people to understand the seriousness of it. And I think you said one time, and maybe you could talk a little bit about it, is one of the priorities is you just want people, they should have a conversation, they should talk about it. You want to get them to do that. Why is that important?
It is very important because just as I had to your point when I mentioned earlier, if you know your family history, if you know that breast cancer runs in your family, any type of cancer that runs in your family, you can be proactive. When you're talking to your doctor and you're going over your medical history, they're asking you questions for a reason. And I remember sitting in doctor's offices and they're like, well, who has a history of high blood pressure, and you're listing these people and you used to always just think it's just a formality. But now you realize there's a reason why they ask those questions, because knowing your family history that lets your your healthcare provider know what type of screening you need. And maybe we need to start screening you earlier than what we would if you didn't have a family history. And what happens is often, more often than not, some people don't even have a history of cancer and they still get it. So, there's so many things tied into, the foods that we eat, things that we consume, your alcoholic consumption. There's so many different things. And so just by having those conversations and talking about it and knowing that it's okay to have those conversations, it's okay. Some people like to be so private, you don't want to tell people what's going on. But if it's someone that's connected to you, especially genetically through your family, you need to have those conversations, because you being transparent about what you're going through may just be what's going to save another person's life. So that education, that openness in those conversations is extremely important.
Yeah, I think so. What is it you want to leave everybody with? I think that's a great, having a conversation, actually knowing and talking. I guess there's a few more days left in the breast cancer awareness month. What do you say from now to the end of the month? What should people do to follow those suggestions and those lines?
Absolutely. Well, first thing would be, if you have not had your yearly mammogram, get your mammogram scheduled. It's absolutely important that you keep up with your mammograms every year. Make sure you're talking to your other female family members. You're talking to your sisters, your aunts, making sure that they are being aware. And believe it or not, breast cancer does affect men as well. It's very rare. It's a small amount of men that develop breast cancer, but it's just not women. Men can develop breast cancer as well. So, but have your checks and make sure you are doing self-examinations. And if you feel something that does not feel right, say something. Don't be afraid to go and talk to your doctor and find out. Be in tune with your body, know your body, but definitely schedule those mammograms. We focus on breast cancer in the month of October, but people live with this every day. And breast cancer is alive and it happens on a daily basis. October, we place a lot of focus on it, but it's just that awareness. Have those conversations. Our foundation, so with Pretty in Pink, we're raising money for the entire month of October. So you still have time if you want to make a donation. I think we have our link that we'll be able to share that link, but talk to your family members, get your mammograms, do your monthly self checks, and just be aware of your body.
Yeah, I think I didn't see the link come up, but yeah, it's a month left. So I think this, I want people to take away from the show here is, just don't think about it, do something, take some action,
Yes,
like you just
absolutely.
described, and kind of do something about it. Any last words or anything, Felicia, you want to leave the people with? Uh, Philip, do we have her link where you can make donations? Do you have that? But any last words for you?
Not, but if you've got it and can post it into the chat, then it'll go out to the whole world. Or put it in private chat, and I'll put it in the public chat. But
Okay.
Sounds
Is anything else you want to say, Felicia?
Yes, I would. So what I will say is be on the lookout, because we have this, we do the event every single year. So next year we want to pack it out with as many people as possible. And so we definitely want to make sure you're sharing it with people, bring people out, and just people that you love, within your sphere and your network. And let's make sure we work together to bring people out, because it's a great event. You're going to walk away with great resources, and we're all in this together. We want to save lives and we want to make an impact. So just be present.
So Tony, you have any thoughts of what we've been talking about?
Oh, of course I do. I have attended the last two festivals, Pretty in Pink festivals.
Felicia, go ahead and put your address in there and we'll get it posted. Go ahead, Tony.
So no, I have attended the last festivals, and they have been phenomenal. Everything that Felicia has mentioned, she said it all. It's not a whole lot for me more to share, other than to reiterate the importance of preventative health screenings. Like she mentioned, doing your self-breast exams, getting your mammograms. You'd be surprised the number of things that you find on your own. We sometimes, men, you should do breast exams just like you should do. We're checking for testicular cancer as well. You should be doing your self exams there too. And just remembering there's no age to start your breast exams. You should start them at all times because you just want to know what your breasts feel like. You should know your breast because that's the only way you're going to know if there are any changes. So yes, self breast exams once a month is the recommendation. And then, like she said, if you notice any changes, you're going to reach out to your primary care providers. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna add a whole lot more, but yes.
yeah, and I think we've done a really good job of trying to get people's awareness up tonight because, we did a proclamation. The town did a proclamation. I do a proclamation every year on breast, recognizing and breast cancer month.
We got that link up now.
And it's almost like you think of it as a formality. It's just something you're doing, but it's bigger than that. It's really, you don't know how good it's going to get to the people and what kind of response they're going to have. And if it's just one person that takes tonight or the proclamation or takes something from this month that we kind of concentrating on and take some action that really should be taken that they would not have, then we've done a great job. And I think that's the important thing that I can think of. But it's been a great show. I really appreciate both of you guys, being on. But it's important for the library, but it's also important for us this month to be aware of breast cancer. And what a great show! I really enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys coming on. And Philip, are we able to post that link, that donation link?
I managed to put it into the chat. Felicia
Okay.
got it in the private chat and I copied it over. So it is up.
Okay.
I want to add another thing about breast cancer as well. Being that I am the provider at a practice for people with and without insurance, Cardinal Points Imaging this month is offering free mammograms to those who do not have insurance. You can go on the website. Registration started today. You have to schedule an appointment. But for the month of October, if you schedule today, they are offering free mammograms for those without insurance. If you have any other questions, you can reach me at Consinity Health too, or either just go to Cardinal Points Imaging on their website. They have more information there as well.
That's great. You can't get any better than free for sure.
Yeah,
So that's really good. Now, I do want to end with one other thing, since you mentioned in free that I think is really, really important because you got to be able to get there, Tony. You got to be able to make it there if you're going to get a free one. And we have just implemented this past month through Grow Raleigh, which is a micro link transit type thing. And for the first 12 months, it's free.
Wow.
It's really free. So it'll come pick you up and take you anywhere in Rolesville, and will actually take you to the station in Wake Forest that can take you to anywhere in Raleigh. And I'm not sure if that's free from Wake Forest to Raleigh, but around Rolesville, it's all free. So it's called Go Raleigh Microlink Rolesville, and it's a free service. So if you don't have money to get there, maybe this can help you get there too. So very good. Any closing comments, Philip?
I am good to go. We got a couple comments I'll throw up on the screen here from some of our viewers here. There's Shanna's got repeat your organization Cardinal Points.
It's in the chat. If you want to put that up, I put it in the chat.
Okay, sorry. And last one, Cardinal Points Imaging. Is there a link or anything else I'm missing? Okay. I think we're good.
Yeah, you should be able to Google that and find it, I would think, didn't you, Tony?
Yes.
So good. One thing about this show is you can go back and view it anytime and get any information that you missed. You can go back and review it. So that's a little tip out there too. But I really appreciate having you both on. Been a great night. Thank you very much. Philip, I don't think we got any homework or anything to finish up on that we need to get out.
Remember the Christmas
we don't really
parade
have
is
any
coming.
Advertisements. So
The Christmas parade is coming. So
and,
if you haven't your float yet for the Christmas parade for the chamber, to make sure that you are securing that. as well. So that's the one that we're gonna round up the year with. Which is, so reach out to Philip.
And if you don't want to float, we've got candy cane sponsors, we got Santa sponsors, we got all levels of sponsorships for the Christmas parade to get your engagement with the crowd.
Yeah, that's great. Appreciate you bringing that up because believe it or not, Christmas will be here before you know it. I mean, it's going to really, it's sneaking up fast. Already October. I can't believe that, but do thank you. Appreciate you both being on. Thank you, Philip, for hosting, and really a lot of things happen around town, and really appreciate you guys being on tonight.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
So with that, appreciate it.